I owe a fair bit to Fujifilm. The tactile nature of their cameras and the ability to get great looking images straight out of the camera are two of the reasons why I fell back in love with photography. Recently, however, I've been branching out past what Fujifilm cameras are capable of and feeling a little bit restricted anytime I use one. So I think the time has come to send Fujifilm to the bench in exchange for a bigger, smarter camera that gives me everything that my Fujifilm camera did and so much more. In this video, I want to first outline the three main reasons why I'm sending my Fuji to the bench, and then tackle how its replacement fulfills all of my annoyances. So on to reason one. The first thing that annoys me about shooting with my Fujifilm camera is its smaller sensor size. If you shoot with a smaller sensor size like APS-C or Micro Four Thirds or something like that, I guarantee that when you first shoot with a full frame sensor, you'll love the images. It's a hard thing to put your finger on. Maybe it's the depth or separation that comes with full frame. I don't know, the images are just lovely and it makes it really hard to go back. That being said, smaller sensors do still have their place. They're usually found in smaller camera bodies, and smaller sensors mean smaller lenses, but I'm just a really big fan of the full frame look and feel. Something else I love doing is shooting with vintage lenses for their character, a lot of which can be found at the edges of the image. But when using a full frame vintage lens on a smaller sensor, you're only getting the middle part of the image, so you're losing so much character. So that's another reason why I don't love the smaller sensor inside my Fujifilm camera. Reason number two why I'm sending my Fujifilm camera to the bench is that now I just feel restricted by the film simulations that are inside it. Like, the film simulations that Fujifilm provide are a big draw to people to their cameras. They were for me, but ever since shooting with LUMIX cameras and designing my own LUTs from scratch, importing like 39 of them into the camera, adjusting the LUT opacity, stacking them on top of each other, playing around with all the settings, like, the tiny amount of film simulations inside my Fujifilm just seems minuscule in comparison. And the thing with film simulations is that you can never change them. The few you get inside your camera are the only ones you'll ever be able to shoot JPEGs with. Yeah, sure, you can change the white balance and like darken the shadows or whatever, but you can never, say, add blue to the shadows or change the yellow tone of a film simulation to more gold. Personally, I've designed loads of Fujifilm recipes over the last few years, but realistically, there's only so much you can do with a few preloaded film simulations and a couple of setting tweaks. One of the main settings you can adjust to change the feel of a Fujifilm recipe is the clarity setting, but if you've ever used a recipe with a plus or minus clarity setting, you'll know what it does to the shooting experience. This is reason three why I'm benching Fujifilm, and it might seem small, but I am so fed up with it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically if you're shooting JPEGs with a recipe with a plus or minus clarity setting, the Fujifilm camera will take like 3 seconds to process your photograph, like every single photograph you take. So it freezes up the camera to process the image. Like, surely there's a way that Fujifilm can figure out how to get their cameras to do the processing in the background, allowing you to keep shooting. Having your camera freeze for like 3 seconds after every single image just really pulls you out of like the shooting experience, pulls you out of what you're capturing, and for me, it's like such a nuisance. So much so that the most recent Fujifilm recipes I've designed just have a clarity setting of 0 for ease of use. Come on, Fujifilm, sort it out. So there you have it. Those are the three main reasons why I'm choosing to bench my Fujifilm camera. But is there a camera out there that can successfully take its place? It has to have a tactile body with a film-like shooting experience, a full frame sensor, and allow me to completely customize the look I get from my JPEGs straight out of the camera. So let me introduce you to the Nikon Zf, which seems like a bit of a weird thing to say as it's been out for a couple of years, but this thing piqued my interest when it was announced, but it's only a recent update to the firmware adding in-camera film grain that made me pull the trigger on this incredible camera. It literally looks like a bigger, beefier, stronger, smarter, sexier X-T4 and feels a lot like his older brother, or more accurately, his superior cousin. So here's how the Nikon Zf answers all of my Fujifilm gripes. The Nikon Zf has a 24 megapixel full frame sensor. Simple. And not only that, this camera, in my opinion, is the best digital camera currently to pair with vintage manual focus lenses, and that's due to its subject detection in manual focus mode. With a vintage look to the camera, paired with a classic vintage lens, you could almost trick yourself into thinking you're shooting 35mm film with this camera. Like, almost. With recent Nikon cameras, you can edit a raw image inside NX Studio, which is Nikon's version of Lightroom. You can save that edit as a custom picture control, and then you can send that picture control to your camera to go out and shoot with. This is something that excites me a lot, and I've already started designing my own picture controls for Nikon cameras, which will be available to download from my website very soon. I found that it's very similar to designing a LUT and loading it into your LUMIX camera, something I'm extremely familiar with. But maybe with the Nikon system, it's a little bit easier and a little bit quicker to whip up a picture control, load it into your camera and start shooting with it straight away. There are pros and cons to both picture controls for Nikon and LUTs and looks for LUMIX cameras, but one thing's for certain, that both of these systems absolutely blow what's capable with a Fujifilm camera and film simulations out of the water. LUMIX cameras have no clarity setting. Fujifilm does, but as I said earlier, it comes with like a 3-second processing delay. But Nikon, however, not only has an option for clarity, they also have an option for sharpening and texture, or mid-range sharpening as they call it. And all of these can be saved within a picture control, and best of all, there is no lag time when shooting with them. It's also worth mentioning here that Nikon's in-camera film grain setting is 100% the best of the three. Inside my Nikon camera, I have the choice between a scale of like 1 to 6 intensity, and then I also have the option of choosing the size of the grain particles. So I have small, medium, or large. So I could have intensity 2, size medium, which is one of my favorites, intensity 5, size small, intensity 1, size large, any combination of those settings. So it's definitely the best of the three and way more options than any other system out there. So there you have it, my Fujifilm camera is well and truly benched with the Nikon Zf taking its place. I can't wait to get out with this camera and shoot more straight out of camera JPEGs and show you the results, and also share some picture controls and Nikon imaging recipes that I've created along the way. So if you're a fan of Nikon and you want to see more of me and my ZF, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave a comment below if anything I've said in this video interests you, or you want to challenge anything I've said, or you disagree with anything I've said, or maybe you've had like a similar experience with these cameras. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. So reach out, get in touch, and hopefully I'll see you again in another video very, very soon. See ya!